from Mexico. Pablo Garcia and Mexico UNAM are determined to bring a positive distraction to a city devastated by a deadly earthquake. Brazil's #1 player Luis Felipe Soriani tells why he's excited about playing for a new-look Sao Paulo DC squad. And we sit down with Chris Staples, the dunker who conquered Hollywood, baby. Plus, stay tuned to the end of the magazine for the best plays of the tournament. It's quick, it's epic, and now it's Olympic. Welcome to the world of FIBA 3x3 basketball, y'all. A game played with non-stop music on a half court with one hoop between two teams of 3 players going to 21 points with 10 minutes on the game clock. Previously on the FIBA 3x3 World Tour, Piran won the biggest thriller of the season at the Chengdu Masters in China. It was a 1-point win in the final against Zamoon after the Spink Simon Finsgar iced 2 free throws with 0.4 of a second to go. It took 3 years for Piran to win their second Masters. Would it take just 7 days for the Slovenians to win their third? Pablo Garcia had big hopes for his third year on the World Tour, proudly representing the University of UNAM. But things changed not long before the event. Welcome to the life of Pablo.
Our team got together in 2014 for our first experience on 3x3, where we're playing small tournaments just for fun. And then next year, we heard about the tournament to qualify to a World Tour, and then we played a national tournament and we took second, but 2 teams qualified. So we went to the World Tour and it was a great experience for us.
After 2 seasons of learning from the best, this was the year that Mexico UNAM believed it could finally reach the knockout round for the first time. However, 2 weeks before the event, everyone's thoughts turned to something else. A devastating earthquake hit Mexico City and hundreds were killed, including children.
Right there we have the school that fell down. It's 1 block from here. As you see, there is no way we can go through.
A school that Garcia works for has helped those affected by the earthquake.
I work at Cedros, which is a private school. We decided to give a free tuition for a year to all those who got in the school Repsamen. That will give their parents time to get on their feet and just start again.
Communities in the city have pulled together in a very difficult time.
It was tough, but it was really nice feeling to see everybody was helping each other. It didn't matter who you were or what social class you have or anything.
Before deciding to go ahead and stage the Masters event in Mexico City following the earthquake, FIBA made certain it was safe to do so, and the timing was right. Garcia says it was vital that the tournament went ahead as planned. As part of the event, FIBA gave $100 for every dunk to the Mexican Red Cross.
I think FIBA is doing a great job donating $100 per dunk. For us, it's really important that we have this tournament right now after the earthquake. I think people need to be distracted a little bit of all we suffer. It wasn't easy, but life keeps going, and we need to show people that we can still have a happy life and pursue our dreams.
There were moves sweeter than margaritas on day 1 of the Mexico City Masters. In Pool A, Novi Sad Awada took no prisoners, winning big over Shootout and Santos. Dusan Bullet had a combined 18 points in the wins and served up a killer no-look dish. Things got more spicy when Santos met Mongolian Shootout. The game was knotted at 18 apiece, but Santos got a wide-open go-ahead J from Louise and ended up winning 21-18. In Pool B, Wukasong only showed up with 3 players, but their Superman, Reeves, Chris that is, came to the rescue. He hit not 1, not 2, but 3 2-balls in a row, the 3rd from the logo. And then Reeves streaked past Stefan Koyets for an easy one. But Alexander Ratkov was his kryptonite. The 25-year-old had 13 big ones in the game, and Lehman ended up winning 22-10. After Rio Preto Guarani demolished Wukusong, Lehman got their second win of the day against the Brazilians thanks to the spectacular Stefan Stojacic and circus shot specialist Ratko. In Pool C, Zamoon, wanting to get rid of that bitter taste in their mouths from that last-second defeat to Piran and Chengdu, took out their anger on Sao Paulo DC with this pick and roll that saw big man Nikola Vukovic throw down a mean jam. Zamoon won it 21-9. In the next game, William Evangelista stroked it like 5 times from the great beyond, as Sao Paulo DC beat Mexico Yunnan 21-14. Zamoon then ground out a 14-11 win over Mexico Yunnan. In Pool D, having made it all the way through the qualifying draw of Mexico City with 2 wins, Amamatsu crashed 22-10 to Piran. 25-year-old Anze Shrebo outscored the Japanese team by himself with 15 points. Amamatsu then lost to Belgrade by 5. Now the game of the day saw Belgrade jump out to a 6-0 lead on Piran, and they never looked back. They knocked down the Chengdu Masters winners 18-15. Let me recap the pool standings for you real quick. Novi Sad Al-Wada tops Pool A with Santos second and Shootout sent home. Lehman won Pool B ahead of Rio Preto, while Mexico said adios amigos to Wukusong. Zamoon won Pool C over Sao Paulo DC, and it was hasta la vista baby for third place Mexico Yunnan. In Pool D, Belgrade won the battle for first against Piran, and day one top scorer Anze Shrebo. Amamatsu lost twice, and their hopes of reaching the final were again like Justin Timberlake. Go! Team Sao Paulo DC have got a new look on the 3x3 World Tour in 2017. 3 of their guys that reached the World Tour final last year are no longer playing for the team, but one still is. It's Brazil's #1 ranked player, Luiz Felipe Soriani. His former Sao Paulo teammate, Gustavo Bracco, did stay involved as the team manager and mentor.
When Gustavo called me to São Paulo DC, he have a proposal to make a super team in Brazil, the best team of Brazil, and I accepted the challenge.
Keeping the whole team together didn't make sense. A couple of the players, Leandro and Ismar Neto, are based overseas.
One guy, Leandro, go to play 3x3 in Japan. Other guy, Ismar, live in Europe. But that's good for us because now all the guys of the team live close in Brazil, so we can practice. I think that year we better than last year because of that.
Soriani's just one of those players that has basketball in his blood. His grandfather, uncle, and other family members played the game. A lot about the sport fascinates him, like the different styles of play that exist in 3x3, including the way top teams in Europe get after it.
We watch much the YouTube videos from Europe teams like Ljubljana, Novi Sad, Liman. They play so nice, they move the ball so different with our system, and that's a big challenge for me. We American guys like to play with the ball, get the ball and play one-on-one, call the pick and roll.
Of course, Soriani doesn't just evaluate the top talent on the 3x3 tour by watching videos. He's faced some of these teams on the court too.
This year we beat Piran, but last year we almost beat Ljubljana. We play against the World Tour finals. The game goes to the extra time. Like we have the ball shot in the last minutes. Always we play against the teams, we go better for the next tournament.
As for his #1 ranking in Brazil, Soriani says it's an honor.
I feel so good to be the #1 in Brazil, but I think that is just a consequence. We have a good team, have a good players playing together.
All right, here's a quick look at the quarterfinals bracket, including a clash of the Titans, Novi Sad Al-Wada and Piran. Novi Sad Al-Wada and Piran had met 5 times before on the World Tour. Piran sometimes came awfully close, but ultimately lost all 5 times. And when Dejan the Maestro Majstorovic drilled one from the wing for a 16-12 lead in Mexico City, defeat was staring Piran right in the face again. But then the craziness started.
Kavdic, takes the contact. That was just ridiculous. Fouled on the two-piece and the biscuit off the glass.
Adin Kavkic made both free throws, and not long after, Anze Shrebo snapped an 18-18 tie with another two-piece, and again in the face of Dushan Bullet. Last week's Chengdu MVP Simon Fitzgar soon clinched the victory. Novi Sad Al-Wada exited a World Tour event at the quarterfinal stage for the second straight week.
When I let go of the ball, I was looking at it, I thought this may go in, but that doesn't mean anything. We gotta move forward.
Zamoon took on a Rio Preto Guarani team that led him into the second half of the game with Deguino absolutely unconscious from beyond the arc. Eventually though, Zamoon seized command. With their slick passing game, Zamoon never looked back. They switched to sixth gear and won the game 21-15.
7 days we waited for this moment. We just want to revenge for the Chengdu. I hope we're gonna win.
In the third quarterfinal, a tough Lehman squad laced them up against a talented but not quite good enough team from Sao Paulo, DC. The Serbians were driving like Uber employees and kicking it out for the two-piece, like Marko Brankovic here to Stefan Kojic early on. Alexander Rakov got his share of baskets off pick and rolls too, which the Brazilians struggled to contain. Luis Felipe Soriani showed flashes of his brilliance and demonstrated why he's worthy of a star profile. But Lehman, with Stojicic and Kojic combining for 5 two-balls, were both clinical and convincing. The last quarterfinal saw Santos threaten to spring a major shock against Belgrade. The Brazilians rolled the back of their big man, Rojas, who pretty much had his way with whoever tried to guard him. He scored 10 points and Santos led 19-15 with less than 2 minutes to play. That's when Ivan the Great showed up. Ivan Popovic buried a 2 to cut the deficit in half, and then made another one to tie it. Popovic set his feet a couple of steps behind the two-point line and drilled his third straight deuce and fifth of the game for the 21-19 crazy comeback win.
The hardest way is to guard the big guy because he's so strong, so big, but we win. This is all matter.
When it comes to hitting big shots on the 3x3 World Tour, the #1 3x3 player in the world, Dejan Majstorovic, is among the very best. When he gets into a rhythm, he makes those nets sing, hence the nickname String Music. So with that said, how good can he be in a shootout contest when there's nobody even contesting the shot? Well, we found out in Mexico City. Fernando Fisher of Santos put the pressure on the Maestro after splashing his 5 attempts from the middle rack and scoring 12 points, a total that would have won it in several Masters this season. But the Maestro decided to conduct his own little orchestra, if you know what I'm saying. After splitting his first 2 shots, the Serbian sniper buried 12 shots in a row. It was like he was doing layups or something. His 15 points tied the all-time record at the World Tour that Mo Riddick set just last year in Mexico City. In the Mexico City Masters dunk contest, Chris Staples, Eric Arrow Przybylski, and CJ Champion put on an absolute freak show. That was no surprise coming from Staples, who won in Mexico City last year. The American started the contest by flying over 6 people. He wasn't going to wait till the final to show his best dunks, obviously. Too bad World Tour rookie CJ Champion missed his first dunk, because his second dunk was hotter than a bowl of jalapenos. Meantime, Arrow got some attention when he paid tribute to the great Kadur Ziani with his signature Cobra dunk. Staples was just ridiculous, and he might have even had the dunk of the night in the semifinals. His trademark Christ Air dunk, where he stops in midair, stretching his arms like Jesus on the cross, and then turns around for the mean 360 yen. Praise the Lord! In the final, Arrow elevated his game. He threw down a mighty one-handed 360 and even got a 30 with a perfect two-handed reverse jam after jumping over two dudes standing on a folding chair.
Arrow! Out here jumping like crisscross.
You know the best way to answer a 30 right is to get one yourself, and Staples did. With a 360 between the legs, one-handed rim assault.
This dude defies logic and gravity at the same time.
He sealed the win by flying over the happiest man in Mexico, former 3x3 World Tour big man Gustavo Bracco, who got a chance to cuddle with the prettiest cheerleader on the World Tour. Staples then showed he's a dunker with a big heart, donating his entire $2,000 winner's check to the earthquake relief efforts in Mexico City.
I will be donating this $2,000 to Mexico City. I really want to pray for the people out there, and thank you guys for having me again. I'll see you again next year.
Oh, the dunk contest made you want to know more about Chris Staples? I figured. Did you know the American Pro Dunker was also a good actor? He even got a lead role in the 2017 movie Slam-A-Jamma. He plays Michael Diggs, someone who gets out of prison and manages to rebuild his life, to the surprise of many.
For him to come back and have redemption and to believe in himself, it kind of related to my life as well, because I've had times where people have counted me out and I've come back and proven people wrong.
It turns out there were other dunkers on the set that Staples knew well.
Porter Mayberry, he's been a part of FIBA a few times. Raphael Lepek, he's a big competitor of mine. He actually played my arch rival in the movie, so it was really good just to have these guys and to see them going through lines on set and actually practicing, seeing them outside the dunking world.
The dunking world, Staples says, has grown tremendously in the past 5 years.
I don't even know where it's going to be in another 5 years. I mean, I remember when I first came into the game, which was about 5 years ago, and during the summer, it was only a few contests. Now they have TV shows where they're showing the dunk contest and some of the best dunkers in the world at the All-Star Weekend and being shown on a big platform.
Staples believes the 3x3 World Tour is taking dunking to new heights. He wouldn't mind riding its coattails to the Olympics one day.
With 3x3 joining the Olympics, I believe that's like maybe the pinnacle of where we want to go as far as dunkers, because maybe one day we'll be included in that. And I feel like that's where you want your talent to be shown on a big stage, and what's bigger than the Olympics.
Staples actually represented the United States in the dunking contest at the 2017 3x3 World Cup that was staged in Nantes, France. He ended up claiming the silver medal after being edged out for the gold by just 1 point.
To represent my country is something I've always wanted to do. The contest was good. I felt like I should have won, but I did it. It came up second. It was very close, Lepek. And to bring back a silver medal for my country means the world to me.
Piran, the Moonmaster, Lehman Belgrade. The last 4 standing in Mexico City. Remember the 2017 Chengdu final when Piran won it with less than a second to go at the free throw line over the Moonmaster? Well, the Moon didn't look like they'd get revenge early on when the teams met in the first semifinal, and Piran had jumped out to a 9-3 lead. But the don't take no for an answer Marco Du Garcia led the Moon back into the game. This dude made play after play, including taking Gasper Obnick's cookies and making a pass for an easy basket to cut Piran's lead to 13-9. This game went to the wire. Doogie then hit Obnick with the Michael Jackson spin, then scored on the drive to tie the game at 18 apiece. Crazy things were happening. After a pair of Adin Kavgic free throws put Piran within a point of victory, Kavgic had 2 chances to win it at the line.
Misses the first, and he misses them both.
He left the door wide open. After Zamoon made it 20-20 from the free throw line, this happened.
And the next point wins it, and this time it's Zamoon. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Every time I'm gonna say I'm so proud of my teammates. They have a heart of champions.
Lehman went into the second semifinal just a couple of wins away from a second title on the World Tour this year. But could they beat a refuse-to-lose Belgrade team? You bet they could. Lehman are tough when they put the ball on the deck and get to the rack. And they're even tougher when they work the passing game to perfection to make sure they get open shots. Well, they did this over and over against Belgrade. They're solid on defense too. And at the end of the day, they were just not going to be stopped by Belgrade. And certainly not Alexander Rakov, who isn't always flashy, but dude is always effective. When Lehman got within sniffing distance of a victory, he went to work like Monday morning.
Congratulations to Team Belgrade. They are a really good team. Maybe play a little bit better this game, but it will be a clear game if they won this one.
The young Lehman team was looking for a second crown on the World Tour this year. To get it, they'd have to beat a Moonmaster team that was trying to bounce back after a narrow loss in the Chengdu Masters final. You know what they say, the cream usually rises to the top, and it did for Lehman, who Stefan Stojacic saved his best for last in Mexico City. In a final that went back and forth for more than 4 minutes, Stojacic had enough, and my man went in, starting with an inch-perfect bounce pass to a cutting Alexander Rakov to snap a 10-10 tie. He then stepped outside the arc and knocked down a 2. Rakov followed that with a crossover and a step-back J. Then Stojacic confidently drilled another 2. A game that had been so tight was suddenly wide open, fueled by Super Stojacic. The score was 16-11 for Lehman, when Stojacic, who was knocking down shots like happy hour, struck yet again from deep to make it 18-12. His amazing play just sucked the life out of Zamun. The Serbian, who once outplayed Steph Curry in the Under-19 World Championship, capped a brilliant display with a drive, scoop, and score to win the game.
We played really good in the final. Congratulations to Team Zamun. They're a really great team, and they lost now second final in a row. I hope maybe in the future they're going to win some Master.
And for the second time in a month, Lehman crowned themselves champs of a World Tour event. Rakov, excellent throughout the entire event by the way, was named the MVP of the Mexico City Masters. It's never easy coming up with the top 5 plays at a Masters event. But after some soul searching, we got you a fabulous 5 from Mexico City. 5 is always live, especially when Lehman star Stefan Stojacic is involved. Right here, you see him get on his trampoline, and in the process, add another $100 to charity for the throwdown. At number 4, why score 1 point when you can score 4 on the same play? Adin Kavgic, never say no to Panda, hits the crazy 2-piece plus the foul. He would later hit 2 free throws and send the number 1 team home in the quarterfinal. At number 3, you've heard of the bullet train, right? Well, this is the bullet pass, and the conductor don't even gotta look where he's going, or throwing for this matter. That boy good. At number 2, if you thought a circus shot for the win in Debrecen was luck, you better think again. Alexander Rakov just showing out now. And at number 1, now that Nikola Vukovic has lost more weight than Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor, he can hang on the rim like an Olympic gymnast. Get it? Gymnast? In Mexico City, Lehman underlined their status as a genuine contender for the World Tour final crown by winning their second title in the space of a month. With the season-ending Bloomage Beijing final to be played October 28th and 29th, 4 teams qualified directly by winning Masters events. There were Saskatoon winners Ljubljana, Utsunomiya, Prague, and Lausanne victors Novi Sad Awada, Debrecen and Mexico City champs Lehman, and Chengdu winners Piran. 8 other squads are also in the 12-team field to ensure a spectacular weekend in Beijing. Moonmaster, Riga, Saskatoon, Belgrade, Krakow R8 Basket, Kran, Lausanne, and Upalech. Now remember, you can follow the World Tour live with the hashtag 3x3WT on FIBA 3x3 social media channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. For now, adios from Mexico. We'll see you soon next time in China, baby, with the best players in the world playing for it all.